28 points in the first half of the season opener was a highlight for the Shepherd Rams football program, but the remainder of the game didn't go quite as planned. On this edition of the Shepherd Coaches Show, we'll review the Shippensburg game, preview the American International Contest, and check in with head volleyball coach Sarah Smith and men's and women's tennis coach Justin Pugh. All this and more on this edition of the Shepherd's Coaches Show, brought to you by the Clarion Hotel of Shepherdstown, Parsons Automotive Group, and Shepherd University.
Introducing the 2012 Kia Sorento.
Parsons Kia, Winchester, Virginia.
Located in Shepherdstown, West Virginia is the Clarion Hotel and Conference Center. Our friendly staff is dedicated to making your stay as comfortable and enjoyable as possible. With 168 guest rooms, 2 full-service restaurants, 6,000 square feet of conference space, and full-service fitness center, the Clarion Hotel is the perfect place for your next weekend getaway, banquet event, or business meeting. For your next event or overnight stay, contact Sherry or Jennifer at 304-876-7000 or visit us online at ClarionShepherdstown.com.
Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Angela Orsini, along with Rams head football coach Monty Cater. Coach Cater, first game of the season, always hard to predict. It was the 15th edition of the Great Valley Classic. Rams were up 28-17 at the half. Shippensburg comes out in the second half, takes control of the game. After taking a look at some film and evaluating and making adjustments, what are some expectations for this week?
Well, Angela, I think anytime you play a good football team, you can't make mistakes. We didn't play well in the second half. We turned the ball over. Didn't take advantage of some things that we had going our way. Couldn't build on the lead. And I think, again, when you play a good football team, they take advantage of your mistakes. They took advantage of those. We had 3 turnovers. We obviously didn't take care of the football as well in the second half. Couldn't get our defense off the field. That was probably one of the biggest things. And, an offense is a defense's best friend as well. So our defense had to play a lot more in the second half. But they did a good job. You got to give them a lot of credit. We couldn't sustain enough things to go ahead and build on that halftime lead. And that's what happens. Plus, we fought the Heat just a little bit too. And, that was a concern that you don't like to admit. But they were, I think, in a little bit better shape than we were as well.
Mm-hmm. What are some things that you guys worked on this week to carry into tonight's game?
I think if you check with our guys, they're going to tell you we worked on conditioning a lot, and that includes, really spending a lot of time with that. Not punishment so much, but trying to go ahead and take advantage of obviously hot weather, be able to take advantage of putting certain situations in your practice plan more like game situations, and making sure that you had to do some things while you were tired. But we had to take care of the football. We've got to keep our quarterback standing up. Sustain some things. So, we had plenty to work on this week, and we're going to have to because we're going to see another good football team on Saturday.
And you had some heat to practice in this week, too.
We definitely did.
In moving past this loss, there were some good and maybe unexpected positives that came out of this game. We talked a little bit about special teams in your kicking game last week and how, you had a few losses there from last season. But based on what we saw out of Troy McNeil, averaging 43.3 yards per punt, having a long of 56, there were a few positives that came out of the game.
Well, I think both of our kickers were very, very positive. You look at Troy, did a great job of kicking the football, and he's a returning punter, so unlike losing our kicker from the year before, Eric Dobratz, I think he picked up where he left off last year, really had a solid game. Ryan Earls did a super job with the kicking, got his extra points, kicked the ball down near the goal line every time. I thought our coverage teams were very good. It was like the good, the bad, and the ugly. You could see some good things and some bad things and some things in between. But, we turned the ball over on 2 kick returns. We also had one that set up a touchdown that, based on whether your angle was, whether we stepped out of bounds, it would have been a 90-some yard touchdown on a kickoff return. So did some good things, did some things that you just can't do. And I know our special teams are always a huge part of our success or lack of, and they contributed a lot, but we also made a couple mistakes.
American International College coming up opens up the home portion of your schedule. They didn't play their season opening weekend. You do have a little bit of a history with them, though. Am I correct?
We do. It goes way back when I first got to Shepherd. I think we played them the first 4 years, and some of those were pretty hard-fought games. Didn't enjoy traveling up there much at all. It was cold, seemed like, even though it was, it was a nice trip. But, they're always a pretty good football team. And again, I don't think you can compare too many things from the time before because it's been such a long time, but always a very physical football team. They have a lot of people back. It'll be similar to Shippensburg in that they've got a very strong offense, a great athlete at quarterback. They got an All-American kicker, strong defense. So, a lot of returning players that, we're going to face a similar situation. I'm glad it's going to be at home. I don't really care what the weather's like. We just need to try to get off to a good start, try to get that first one.
With them not playing last weekend, has it been a little bit of a challenge trying to prepare for this game?
It really is. All your film is last year's film. I don't know whether they were at the ball game on Saturday or not. I probably would have, even though that would have been a long trip to ship as well. But I think one of the things that you find out is that you get that first one out of the way, you know a little bit more about yourself, you know a little bit more about what you think you might be able to do, or in our case, not able to do. So I think I'd rather have played that first one than want to lose it, but I'd like to have played that first one and know a little bit more about us and not have to make that trip like they are.
Yeah, kind of get a little bit more of a jump on AIC. The Yellow Jackets, they were picked third in the Northeast 10 in the preseason poll. So this contest, another important regional game for you guys. As fans watching the game, what are some things that they should expect to see out of this? And what are some things that you think you might need to shut down in order to be successful on Saturday?
Well, you can't give up big plays, and we suffered from that a little bit. 2 long pass plays that they were able to convert into touchdowns last week. If we're going to have some success on Saturday, then we got to not give up big plays and not turn the ball over. That would be 2 of the biggest things. Consistency, with our offense so that we can go ahead and stay on the field. Obviously, you want to be productive, but we've got to stay on the field, not let our defense play the whole day and us watch them. So I think there's some things that we worked on a lot. We're going to see a very good opponent, but at the same time, I think we're going to be a much better football team this week than we were in week 1.
Last question on American International. It's been 22 years. Is there a little bit of revenge there? Because I know there's 4 meetings you had with them your first 4 seasons at Shepherd. They took those.
They did.
So
they did.
What do you remember from those games?
Well, I remember the long trips and stuff like that. But, they play a physical brand of football, whether it's been 15, 20, 22 years, whatever. I don't think that they look any different on film than they did back when we played. Maybe it's a different style, but it's still a physical football team. They want to get after you on defense. They're kind of spread out as far as the offense is concerned, and they've got a lot of weapons. And I mentioned the quarterback, but, they've got a lot of things that they do well. Their kicking game is going to be very good, too. So, we'll have to play across the board much, much better, offense, defense, and special teams, and I'd like to think that we're going to be able to make some progress in all 3 phases of our game.
Lastly, Coach, some exciting news in the Shepherd football program. Dominic Jones has made the team with the Indianapolis Colts. How special is that for you? And then he was also at the Shippensburg game last week. So how was that for you?
Yeah, that was tremendous. We're so happy for him. If you look at somebody that, I wish we could have had him more than the 1 year that we did. But
very successful year.
It was a special year, and he was one of our top receivers, one of our top, touchdown scorers, and just did an awful lot as a leader, even in 1 year for our football team. But he's a great young man, great family. We're excited for him, and we've had a chance to watch him a little bit in the preseason, and we're just excited that he's going to stick, and maybe he'll remember us with some of that big money he's going to make now. But no, we're really happy, and for him to make that trip and be with us then this last Saturday was special too. So we're excited.
Yeah, he had a great game, I think, against the Cincinnati Bengals, and you can go to shepherdrams.com and check that video out where he has a nice touchdown catch. So it's pretty nice. So, well, thanks, Coach. Stay with us. The Rams are off to a 3-1 start. We're going to check in with head volleyball coach Sarah Smith when we come back.
Makes my heart stop, drives me so crazy.
Introducing the 2012 Kia Sorento.
Parsons Kia, Winchester, Virginia.
Located in Shepherdstown, West Virginia is the Clarion Hotel and Conference Center. Our friendly staff is dedicated to making your stay as comfortable and enjoyable as possible. With 168 guest rooms, 2 full-service restaurants, 6,000 square feet of conference space, and full-service fitness center, the Clarion Hotel is the perfect place for your next weekend getaway, banquet event, or business meeting. For your next event or overnight stay, contact Sherry or Jennifer at 304-876-7000 or visit us online at ClarionShepherdstown.com.
Welcome back to the show. We're now joined with head volleyball coach Sarah Smith of the Shepherd Rams. Sarah, you're in your 8th season as head coach and had a big tournament this past weekend, the Falcon Fest tournament in Fairmont, West Virginia. On Friday, you went 2-0, finished the weekend 3-1, the best start to one of your seasons here at Shepherd.
Correct.
Tell me a little bit about what went on there at the tournament.
The girls came out very hot, very inspired, and played team volleyball. It was the best I've seen them play in a couple of years. It was just a joy to watch. Everyone clicked and everyone supported each other.
Total team effort.
Team effort.
That's awesome. I know junior Meg Kenny, she had a big weekend, hitting .333 to lead the offense. Was it a matter of just her being hot that day, or was it just, like you said, just total team effort, the hard work that the girls put in the off season?
It's a little bit of both. Meg Kenny's usually very hot for us. Last year she hit over 300 for the season. So she's coming back and she is a big key component of our offense. However, everyone around her was doing their job to put the ball away, to protect the ball when we needed to. It starts with our setter, Sarah Michael. When she played a great game the whole way through, when she's calm, she distributes the ball evenly, which allows Meg to have one-on-one opportunities and then just annihilate the ball, which is, of course, wonderful to see.
Makes it a lot easier.
It does, when you have a big middle to put a ball away.
Who were some of the teams that you guys took on up there?
We played Edinburgh, a top WEVIAC PSAC conference matchup. They played 4 of our schools out there, and they're always ranked in the region, so that was a big win for us. And then we also played Notre Dame College from Ohio. We played Ursuline from Ohio, and then Point Park University from Pittsburgh. And that was our one loss.
The one loss. This start, it's a great start. It coincides with a lot of your peer coaches and where they put your team in the preseason poll. Preseason coaches poll for the Rams, they put you at 4th place in the conference, but the only first place vote not going to the conference. So what are your expectations for the team in the conference this year?
My expectations fall in line with our team, which is definitely making it to the conference semifinals and being in the top 2 of our conference. We definitely are ranking ourselves based on our regional output. Our goals are regional overall results in addition to our conference. And we know that if we can take care of business in our conference, the regional win-loss will help us earn that NCAA bid, something that Shepherd Volleyball's never had. And that is our goal this year.
Now, do you guys travel as much as the basketball teams and stuff, or is it more tournaments in designated areas throughout the state?
We are one of the few sports that do play back-to-back on the same day, so there are tournaments. Our first 3 weekends are usually tournaments of the year, and then we travel. We do travel in during the week to the PSAC schools to pick up those regional games. So I would say it's probably a little less than basketball, but in a more condensed time frame.
In talking about the players, you returned 9 players that had a pretty significant amount of court time last season. Tell me about some of their contributions to the team, as well as some of your important newcomers.
The 9 are a key component for the entire season. They've brought the 4 new players along, 3 true freshmen, 1 redshirt junior coming in with experience from a Division I school. So they've really molded the expectations and the level of play in our gym. They set the tone. The 9 of them all did play a lot last year, and they're all playing a lot this year. We have truly no starters. We have rotations. Everyone comes in, gets their job done. I would say the best pickup, if you would, is Taylor Bilella coming in as a backup setter last year, moving to libero due to injuries last year, and then playing a libero this year as well and doing a great job of it just as a sophomore, not new to the position. And that just shows our depth and range of ability with our 9 returning players who are all doing a great job.
Seems like it almost make your job a little bit easier because they're all going to continue to compete to keep a spot there.
Correct.
On the rotation.
Depth helps. Coach Gator can attribute to it in football. You have 3 running backs. They're always pushing to be the #1 guy. And we do the same thing in our gym. When you have 4 outsides and 2 play, you know they're always chomping at the bit every practice to get better and to earn that playing time.
I know you also picked up a local walk-on and also West Virginia Gatorade Player of the Year last year, Taylor Allen. How is she doing?
Taylor's doing great. She came in a couple times over the weekend, served some big topspin jump serves for us, a couple aces in the way, also played a little bit front row. She's doing a great job, as is all of our freshmen coming in.
You take on some more regional opponents this weekend at the Clarion PA tournament. Tell me about what you're expecting out of this weekend.
I try to let the girls set the expectation and tone personally, but what coach wouldn't want to go 3-1, duplicate last weekend's success, or possibly do a little bit better? If we consistently play at a high level, consistently improve upon our weak areas, and we take a loss here and there, I'll be okay as a coach. But ideally, we want to go 3-1 and hopefully improve our regional rankings with big wins over Clarion and Slippery Rock, who we play the following week.
Yeah, that's your home opener, right? And
It
you guys
is.
will host that tournament. It's actually a West Virginia Conference PSAC crossover tournament, right?
Correct.
How important is it for you guys to host something like that?
It's very important. We're the only WEVX school to host something like that. The PSAC hosts it either at IUP or Mercyhurst. They're the 2 schools that host for the PSAC. It's so important to get those wins for our regional rankings. And so for our conference to go out there and win, like last week, and all the WEVX schools beat Edinburgh, hopefully this next weekend and the weekend after, we can beat the other Pennsylvania schools as well. Those are important wins for us. If we can go out and continue to beat the PSAC, we'll hopefully get more bids to the automatic tournament, to the NCAA tournament.
That makes it exciting. A
It
little
does.
something to work for.
It does.
Yeah. Well, Coach, best of luck in
you.
the tournament this weekend. You're doing a great job, and you know, hopefully we get to host more and more events every year. So it'll be great.
Thanks.
All right. When we come back, we'll hear from the Rams men's and women's tennis coach, Justin Pugh.
Red light love makes my heart stop, drives me so crazy I can't even walk. I got a red light love open every day. Ain't no green light, go away.
Introducing the 2012 Kia Sorento.
Parsons Kia, Winchester, Virginia.
Located in Shepherdstown, West Virginia, is the Clarion Hotel and Conference Center. Our friendly staff is dedicated to making your stay as comfortable and enjoyable as possible. With 168 guest rooms, 2 full-service restaurants, 6,000 square feet of conference space, and full-service fitness center, the Clarion Hotel is the perfect place for your next weekend getaway, banquet event, or business meeting. For your next event or overnight stay, contact Sherry or Jennifer at 304-876-7000 or visit us online at ClarionShepherdstown.com.
Welcome back to the show. Head men's and women's tennis coach Justin Pugh now joins us. Justin, thanks for joining us. Coach, you've led both teams previously, serving as assistant coach of the tennis teams. What year did you take over as head coach?
In the fall of 2008, I took over a couple days before the season started, actually. Both teams.
Both teams? Yeah, tell me a little bit about the dynamics of coaching both teams across the season.
It's a little bit different because the women play their major season in the fall and our conference championship, and then the men do the same in the spring. But both teams play matches in the opposite season. So there's men's and women's matches in the fall, and then there's men's and women's matches in the spring. And all the matches are equally important, but our conference championship, like I was saying, for the women is in the fall, and the men is in the spring. So there's a little bit more focus on the women in the spring, in the fall, and there's a little bit more focus on the men in the spring. But still, there's practices for both teams, both seasons, so it gets to be some pretty long days.
So when is your off season then?
November, December is our off season, and then the summertime, June, July, and August. There's not a whole lot going on in those months, but pretty much from mid-January to the beginning of May is men's season, and as soon as we start back to school till the 1st of November is women's season.
So they get the holidays off, and then
Basically.
it's back on it. All right, that's not too bad. Last spring, the men's team finished 4th in the West Virginia Conference. They also made it to the NCAA tournament. Tell me about that achievement and what that meant to you guys.
It was a big deal. Our conference for both the men and the women is very strong, and we kind of knew that we had an outside chance to win the conference championship last year, but from the very beginning of the year, the guys were like, our goal is to make the NCAA tournament. So that was kind of our goal all season long, and I made sure we had plenty of regional matches, and when we made the tournament, it was like a dream come true to these guys. And then when we went to the tournament, I wasn't sure how our chances were going to go, but we actually we lost 5-1, but there were 3 matches still on the court, and we were ahead in all 3 of those matches. So had one of the other matches went the other way, we could have won that match, and who knows, we could have won the next round too, because that team went 5-4 too. So it was pretty exciting to get there for them and for myself also. So
they got a taste of that. They ready to head back there now?
Well, I know that is the goal again. We want to get that first win. To back up a little bit, the one match that we won was the first match that in Shepherd tennis history that has been won in an NCAA tournament. So we get our first individual win. Hopefully we get our first team win this year.
That's great. This fall, the women's team was picked 4th in the preseason poll, which is pretty much kind of where they've been the past few seasons. Who do you need to climb over in the West Virginia Conference to get past that?
Charleston's very strong. They have a really good program there. West Virginia State, the same, has a good program. And then West Liberty's got a good program too. Those are going to be the top 3 teams. I think for us, a little bit of our problem in the past has been belief. We've played the teams earlier in the season, and we haven't done so well against them. And then we get to the conference tournament and play one of those 3 teams in it. And we always seem to improve, and it's like, I feel like we're right there, and we're just a point or 2 away, and it's just like almost like we've lost to them before. So we just don't have that belief. And if we can just get a little bit more belief, I think we can beat some of those teams.
Just learning how to win those tough matches.
Well, yeah, learning how to win against a better player than you're normally used to playing against. Our skill level is good enough, but not used to seeing players of that level throughout their lives and the tennis that they've played. So seeing a different style. A lot of the players in our conference, women's players, use a lot more spin than the majority of players do. So it's a lot different. The ball bounces a lot. And myself and my assistant coach, Andy, hit with the girls a lot, try to hit more spin to them so they get used to it to help them a little bit.
Does the men's team making it to the NCAA tournament, does that motivate the women's team a little bit?
A little bit, but we got so many new faces this year that I don't think they really know what the men's team did last year yet.
It hasn't rubbed off yet.
So no, but I think eventually it will. Our one girl, definitely, she was aware of what was going on.
Well, you do have a pretty young roster. Tell me about some of your returners and then your newcomers that are coming up.
Well, our #1 returning player is Caitlin Newmaw. She played #2 last year, and she did very well. She's going to play #1 this year, and she's going to have a lot of expectations to play well because she is a great player. I believe that she can win most of her matches. So I think she's going to feel a little bit of pressure playing, but I think she's going to do great with it because she's, like I said, she was very, very close to our #1 girl last year and didn't have a whole lot of trouble with it too, but her level of competition is going to go up. Also, Alice DeLauro is returning too. she'll be playing too, and her and Caitlin will play doubles, and they did really well at doubles last year too. So hopefully they can duplicate their success again this year.
We've talked a little bit about how the men's team, they will play individual matches, but not towards the conference this fall. Their conference tournament will be in the spring. The women's play individual, but they also play for the conference in the fall, and not so much in the spring. How do you coach your men's team right now in the fall?
Well, we only have the season is shorter for the men in the fall because we have the main season in the spring. So we don't practice as much. We haven't actually started men's practice yet. When we do, they'll practice on their own a little bit, but they do that anyway, even out of season. And then we'll just get into shape, get our lineup set, and then we'll work a lot of doubles stuff to make sure we're sharp for doubles. But both teams will play some out-of-conference important regional matches this fall, so both teams will have to be sharp to improve our chances of going to the NCAA tournament. Those regional matches are just as important as our conference matches.
When do you guys get your season started off? I know you're practicing right now. When's your first match?
Our first home match is next Wednesday at home against University of District Columbia, and it's both men's and women's, so it should be a good match. They're a very good team.
I was going to say, is it a tough competition?
Yeah, they're very good. They got a new coach a couple years ago and went from not very good to very good in a very short time. So it'll be fun.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us, Coach Justin Pugh. Our thanks to Coach Justin Pugh, and thank you everyone for watching. Be sure to join us 3 weeks from today on September the 29th when the Shepherd Rams will host defending conference champs Concord University. I want to again thank our sponsors, the Clarion Hotel of Shepherdstown, Parsons Automotive Group, and Shepherd University. Now let's get you to the action as the Shepherd Rams host American International College.
Red light love makes my heart stop, drives me so crazy I can't even walk. I got a red light love open every day. Don't red light go away.
Introducing the 2012 Kia Sorento.
Parsons Kia, Winchester, Virginia.
Located in Shepherdstown, West Virginia is the Clarion Hotel and Conference Center. Our friendly staff is dedicated to making your stay as comfortable and enjoyable as possible. With 168 guest rooms, 2 full-service restaurants, 6,000 square feet of conference space, and full-service fitness center, the Clarion Hotel is the perfect place for your next weekend getaway, banquet event, or business meeting. For your next event or overnight stay, contact Sherry or Jennifer at 304-876-7000 or visit us online at ClarionShepherdstown.com.